I mean, but still, now even I know Eid, Bakrid, or Diwali or Holi, everything in Middle East is just for sleeping. If you get any day off, it's just for sleeping most of the times in the Middle East. Khair. Now, let us move on to the next topic, that is similar thing here. It is electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, please write electromagnetic spectrum. Electromagnetic spectrum. Now, what is electromagnetic spectrum? When we arrange the electromagnetic waves in increasing or decreasing order of their frequency or wavelength, that spectrum is known as electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, that spectrum is known as electromagnetic spectrum. The definition would be what? Arrangement of different types of electromagnetic waves in order of increasing wavelength, or you can write or decreasing frequencies. Okay, increasing wavelength or decreasing frequency is known as electromagnetic spectrum. Electromagnetic spectrum. Okay, now I will show you the electromagnetic spectrum, but for that I will just copy paste thing. How will you remember this? You can remember it like this. Gamma XUV. Gamma XUV, visible IMR. Okay, visible IMR. These are the after IR and microwaves. You don't have to remember these as something else. These are just radio waves. Okay, these are just radio waves. After microwaves are radio waves. You don't have to remember what are these FM and AMs. Okay, these are known as far and near microwaves also. But you just remember that these are radio waves. What is these are gamma rays? Then there is X-ray. And there is this is UV. This is UV. UV ray. This is visible. The visible region. Okay. Then this is IR infrared. This is microwave. These are radio. Okay. Now this is the decreasing order of frequency. Decreasing frequency. Decreasing frequency. You have to draw this. And after that, inside this region here is the visible. This region here. Is the VIBGYOR. This region is the visible region. Very small. Okay, very small. One note that you should write regarding the visible region is that it starts from where? It starts from violet. Okay, the visible region range violet. Now, violet has a wavelength of 380 nanometers. 2. You have red, which has a wavelength of 760 nanometers. Okay, 760 nanometers. So from violet to red, please memorize these units. Okay, memorize these terms: 380 and 760. Done, everyone? Is there anyone who is still writing? Okay. Is there anyone who is still writing? No? Okay. I'll write a question. Write a question. A radio station at AIR, All India Radio, New Delhi, broadcasts at a frequency of 1368 kilohertz. Okay, 1368 kilohertz. Calculate the, or rather, you should calculate the wavelength of the electromagnetic wave and determine its place in electromagnetic spectrum. So you have options here. Please write this question and write the options. Let us say 200 meters, and the range is infrared. Let us say 380 nanometer, and the region is, let's say, visible region. (119 meters). Radio wave. And let us say, what else can I give you? (900 nanometers, microwave. Solve this question and send the answer in chat. Okay. Just I'm giving you one hint here that 1 hertz is equal to 1 second inverse. Okay, and kilo means 1000. Is there anyone who does not know how to do this type of problem? Yes, Kea, can you solve it?
I'll try.
Right. Okay, so I hope you all know the relationship, right? I hope that you know the relationship that C is equal to lambda times frequency. So C, you should know the value of C, that is the speed of light. And we have given you the frequency, and just what you need to calculate is lambda. Please keep in mind the units. Please keep in mind the units. Also, you first have to eliminate the units. After that, you have to eliminate the powers of 10. And when you are done with both of these things, then you will simplify the numbers. Okay. Yes, Mazia, correct. Mazia, can you please unmute?
Sir,
Did you calculate? Yeah, you calculated. Okay. Right. Azia has given me an answer. If I get one more answer, then I will start solving this, okay? Okay. Is anyone stuck? Okay, Hafsa has given me the answer. Okay, Hafsa has given me the answer. Okay, first of all, we will solve this without doing any calculation. Okay, if you get these type of questions, you have to keep the brain on. Okay, you have to keep the brain on. Okay. Minashi,
Yes,
can you
sir.
turn the mic on? Okay.
Yes, sir.
If there is a radio station, they will work on what wave? Radio wave only, na?
Yes, sir.
So only C option is right. Others are all wrong because it is a radio station. A radio station, it only works and it will be only emitting what rays? It will be only emitting the radio waves. Fair. Now let us do the calculation part. I hope everyone agrees with this C answer. Okay, C answer will be correct because if the other option they had radio, now then you have to calculate. And how will you calculate this? We'll calculate this, and lambda is equal to C. What is C? C is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. 3 into 10 to the power 8 meters per second. What is the frequency? Frequency is 1368. K, what is K? K means 10 to the power 3 or 1000. Okay, 10 to the power 3. And hertz is the unit of frequency. And that is also second inverse. Okay, 1 hertz is equal to second inverse. Now what I can do, I can eliminate this second inverse and second inverse, and I will get whatever term that will be in meters. 1368 into, now you have 10 to the power 8 minus 3. So this will be equal to 3 upon. Now I can also eliminate this 3. This 3 ones are, then 3 fours are, and 1 6 3 5s are, and then 1 8 3 6 are. Okay, so this is 1 upon 4 5 6 into 10 to the power 8 minus 3 is equal to 5 meters. 5 meters. Now, how are you going to solve this? As you can already see here. Okay, please look at here. Now, this is something that you should know how to approximate. First option is the radio wave. Now, let us say that all of these, they are given as radio waves. Okay, I have to stop sharing for a while. Okay, just a second. Please see, let us change all these to radio waves. Okay, now I'm changing all these are radio waves. Okay. Radio. I have to remove this nanometers, and this will be also radio. Okay. Now, how will you do this? Now you will compare the things. Okay. Now you will compare the things. Now, suppose for 200 meters, the answer should be 200 meters. But the answer should be what? It should be 1 upon 500 into 10 to the power 5, right? Then the answer would be 200 meters. Yes or no? Tell me yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Right? Now, that means, but this denominator is less than 500. The denominator is less than 500. Then lambda will be greater than 200. Yes or no? If 1 upon 500, not that is not 1 upon 500. Rather, I should write like this. Okay, 100 and one more 0 by 500. No, by 5. Okay, by 5. I hope you guys are approximately quite good at maths. So this is 1000 and this is just 5. Okay, now this is equal to 200. But if you have 1000 upon 4.56, this will be what? This number should be greater than 200. Yes or no? Because if we decrease the denominator, the answer should be increasing. So from there you can again write 219. From there you can again take 219. Okay, so in MCQ questions, you don't have to calculate till the end. You have to use some tools of mathematics. Okay, some tools of mathematics. So let us move to the next topic, which is more important. That is the photoelectric effect. Okay. Before photoelectric effect, I hope you guys remember the cathode ray experiment. Yes or no? Do you guys remember cathode ray, or have you guys forgotten? Do you guys remember that, or you guys have forgot? You don't remember? You guys don't remember cathode ray experiment? नहीं याद है किसी को. This is a glass tube, right? This is a glass tube, and somewhere here you have battery. Somewhere here you have battery. Okay, and somewhere here you have an ammeter. Ammeter. What does ammeter do? What is the use of ammeter? What is the use of ammeter, guys?
It measures the current.
Measures the current. Very good. It measures the current. Here you had a plate. Here you had a plate like this. Okay, here you have a plate like this. Okay, and this is a metal. This is a metal. Now, this will be the negative, and this is the positive. That is why this will be negative, and here it will be positive. It will be positive. Now, here it is vacuum. Inside the glass tube, there is vacuum. Right? What is the spelling of vacuum? Double C W, na? Or one C W? Double C W, or what is the spelling? Vacuum. I think it is WM. Okay, vacuum. Vacuum. I think it is double. Okay, fine. Now, in this particular, what is this glass tube? You didn't have any. You didn't have anything. Here there is a detector. Here there is a detector. Now, this is the setup. This is the setup for photoelectric effect. Helmut Hertz, the scientist who was performing this experiment, he took a step further to the discharge tube experiment. In discharge tube experiment, the test tube, the glass tube had some gases in it. Okay, some gases in it. That gas got ionized, and when the gas got ionized, what happened? The gas got ionized. The electric current used to flow. The electric current used to flow, but he had a metal surface, and then he started the battery here. So electrons will be coming from here, here, and to the metal surface, right? To the metal surface. Now, initially there was no current. Initially there was no current. Zero current was flowing. Then what he did? He struck this metal surface with some electromagnetic radiations. He struck this metal surface with some light or electromagnetic radiations. Okay, he struck this. Now, as soon as he struck this electromagnetic radiation in this metal surface, what happened? The electricity started to flow. That means electrons were ejected from this metal surface and electrons were flowing towards the positive end. Electrons were flowing towards the positive end. Okay. Now, this effect is known as photoelectric effect. This effect is photoelectric effect. What is this effect? This effect is that the ejection of electron from the metal surface, right? Electrons are being ejected from the metal surface when the light is striking on the metal surface, or when the light is shown on the metal surface. Okay, so this is photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect. Now, please write this. Then we will draw this again. Then we will define the photoelectric effect, and we will look at a few things. We will look at a few things regarding photoelectric effect. Done.
Yes, sir.
Is anyone still drawing? Can I get a yes sir or no sir? Is anyone still drawing? Yes, Mohammed Khalid, Shoaib, Mazia, Kia?
No.
No? Okay. So you have to tell me now when you are done. Please let me know when you are done. Okay. Photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect. This photoelectric effect, the phenomenon of, please write this with me. Of ejection of electrons. From metal surface. From metal surface. When light means what? Electromagnetic radiation. Light means electromagnetic radiation. Light of suitable frequency. A suitable frequency strikes on it. It's called photoelectric effect. Known as what? It is known as photoelectric effect. Next point, which is very important, and you can get MCQs this point, the emitted electrons. Now, since photon, that means light, it is responsible for emitting these electrons are known as these are known as what? These are known as photoelectrons. These are known as photoelectrons. These are known as photoelectrons. Okay, photoelectrons. Now, the important point is the suitable frequency point. That means not all the light which is striking on the metal surface will give you ejection of electron. Not all light. There should be some suitable frequency of light, and that will eject the electrons. Only that some suitable frequency that will eject the electrons. And that suitable frequency is known as the threshold frequency. That means the minimum amount of energy. Now, you know that if you have electrons, you have the electrons, and there is a proton here. There is a proton here which is attracting the electron. Proton which is attracting the electron. Now, to remove this particular electron, what do we have to do? We have to strike the metal surface with some electromagnetic radiation. And if this electromagnetic radiation is suitable energy, it has high enough energy to remove or to eject the electron from the metal surface, that suitable frequency or that minimum energy, it is known as threshold frequency. Okay, and then what happens? Electrons get removed. So this is attracted. This is attraction towards the nucleus, and we have to have that the amount of energy should be greater than the attraction of the electrons towards the nucleus. So that minimum energy is known as threshold frequency or work function. The minimum amount, or I should say, right, for the ejection of electron from the metal surface is known as threshold frequency, and it is denoted by the sign mu naught. Okay, it is denoted by the sign mu naught. And if you have any frequency that is less than mu naught, then the ejection of electron will not take place. Okay, now from here we will conclude a few more points. Okay, now when you have frequency, you will have some kind of energy also. So the minimum energy required for the ejection of electron is called work function or threshold energy Done, everyone? Is anyone still writing?
No.
No. Okay. Okay, someone is still writing. Mazia is still writing. No.
Yes, sir, please.
Okay, finished. Okay. The work function, that is W. The work function, and it is no given as W. Okay, this work function is W. So you will have an electromagnetic radiation. Okay, you will have an electromagnetic radiation. Electromagnetic radiation. There can be three cases when it strikes the metal surface. When it strikes the metal surface. Now, one of the scenario can be this electromagnetic radiation. It has, let me write it like this first. It has the frequency nu. It has the frequency nu. It has the frequency nu. Now, this nu can be greater than nu naught. That is greater than the threshold frequency. This nu can be equal to nu naught, and this nu can be less than nu naught. Now, when it is greater than nu naught, the energy associated with this photon or with this electromagnetic radiations, the energy of photon should be greater than work function. Here, the energy of photon will be equal to the work function, and here you will have the energy of photon. It will be less than work function. It will be less than work function. Now, in this case, what will happen? In this case, what will happen? The electron will be ejected. Yes or no? Tell me. Electron will be ejected, right? Because the frequency of electromagnetic radiation is greater than the threshold. Now, the required amount was 6. Let us say the required amount was 6, but you are providing the frequency 8. You're providing the frequency 8. That means you have more than enough. You don't even have enough. You have more than enough. Then that is why what will happen? The electron will be ejected. Now, the electron will be ejected. As I said that this is the metal surface. It requires what amount? It requires, let us say, 5 joules. But you strike this with a electromagnetic radiation, and the electromagnetic radiation, it was, let us say, 8 joules. Now the electron will be getting ejected, and this electron will be ejected with a kinetic energy of 3 joules. That means out of 8 joule, 5 joule was used to eject the electron. 3 joules of kinetic energy is used in the kinetic energy of electron. So out of 8 joule, 5 joule for ejection, 3 joules for the kinetic energy. Now, that is why whenever you have a wave, a frequency of light greater than the threshold frequency, electron will be ejected with some kinetic energy. And here what will happen? Electron will be ejected with zero kinetic energy, right? Because we had the surface here. We had the surface, and this is the 5 joule, and the energy of this one was, let us say, 8 joules, right? So the electron was ejected with 3 joules of kinetic energy. Now you have another light which is just of 5 joules. Then what will happen? The electron will be just sitting on the metal surface, Then you have the last case here, electron will not be ejected because it is less than threshold frequency. The frequency of the electromagnetic radiation is less than the threshold frequency. That is why electron will not be ejected. Also make a good photo here. One wave. Two wave, second wave. This is the third wave. So this has the energy, let us say, 6 joules. 8 joules. No, this will have, let us say, 5 joules. Okay, I am not color blind, but please let me know 5 joule is in yellow, na? 5 joule is in yellow, right? I'm using a flux kind of thing, so I cannot see the colors. I have not written 5
Sir,
joule.
I guess it's green.
This one. Oh, I think I have to remove the flux. Oh, no, I drew it with white. This is 5 joule. And this green one is 3 joule. Okay. Now this metal has, let us say that it has the work function of 5 joules. Then what will happen here? Electron will be ejected from here with kinetic energy of 3 joules. The electron will be ejected here, but it will be on the surface and it will have kinetic energy 0. For 3 joules, what will happen? No ejection. Okay. So please write these 3 cases. Let me know if you're done. Is anyone still writing?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Done, sir.
Is there anyone else who is writing still now? Is there anyone who is writing? No. Okay. From here, I can write a relationship between work function. So the energy of photon, it will be equal to the work function plus the kinetic energy, right? It will be equal to the work function plus kinetic energy if the ejection of electron has taken place. If the ejection of electron has taken place. But now what we have to do, we have to find the relationship between energy, and frequency of a wave. Okay, energy and frequency of a wave. Now this also comes under the topic of Planck's quantum theory. Okay, you can also write the topic that is Planck's quantum theory or Planck's quantum theory. I will use two analogies. I will use two examples here. Okay, whatever I am writing after this squiggly black line, just you don't have to write this. Okay, you don't have to write this anything from here. Just have to understand this. Let us think about two scenarios. Okay, let us think about two scenarios. In scenario A, we have let us take a piece of cloth. Okay, it is in some wire. It is in some wire, and here you have a pipe. This pipe has water. This pipe has water in it. Okay, this pipe has water in it. Now here in this case, you have to imagine a metal sheet. Okay, and then you are striking this with a beam of light. Let us say beam of light is something like this. Okay, this is a beam of light. Now here you have to understand two things, and there is water here, no? So I have to also put water here. Okay. Now, in these two scenarios, this is B, this is A. Is the water flowing continuously? Tell me, is the water flowing continuously and hitting the cloth continuously? Tell me. Hafsa, what do you think? Is the water flowing continuously and hitting the cloth continuously? Yes or no? Is it continuously? Is it happening continuously? Yes or no? Hafsa? Kia, what do you think? You guys cannot just be silent, okay? Tell some answer, yes or no. Yes, Kia, what do you think? Can you please turn the mic on, I will not read the chat now. Turn the mic on. Okay, Mazia, yes, tell me, Mazia.
Yes.
Yes, it is going to be continuous. What do you think, Khalil? Is it going to be continuous?
No, sir.
No. So what do you think? What is happening?
So after a certain amount of time, the cloth is already wet enough.
No. I'm not saying whether it is wet or not. I'm just asking, is it hitting the cloth continuously?
Yes, sir. Yes.
It's hitting continuously. Okay. What do you think, Minashi? Is it hitting continuously?
Sir.
Yes. Okay. What about Razan? What do you think? Is it hitting continuously?
Yes, sir.
Khalid?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Now, this is what it looks like. But if I go into very micro picture and I slow the time infinitely, I'm slowing the time infinitely and I'm going in the micro picture, then what I will see is that It is not continuously, rather it is discontinuous, and each H2O molecule is striking the cloth one at a time. Yes or no? Do you all agree? This is not continuous. Continuous means what? Like a wave, it should be continuous. But we know that inside water we have H2O molecules, and these H2O molecules, if I infinitely slow the time, okay, in slow motion, infinite slow motion, then what will happen? I can see that one H2O molecule is hitting the cloth, then the another H2O molecule is hitting the cloth, then the another H2O molecule is hitting the cloth. Yes or no? Now, can you imagine it in that way, in a discontinuous way? No? Khalil, Mazia, Mohammed Khalid.
Yes, sir.
Now you can view that, right? If we are looking at this macro picture and the real picture, it is continuous. In our time sense, it is continuous, but in reality, it is happening how? It is happening discontinuously, one atom at a time, right? One atom at a time. It is happening one atom at a time. Now, for us, imagining is okay, but having a very good picture of that continuity is not very easy. It's not very easy. It's not very easy. Okay, you can but imagine that rather than a flow of water, if there is flow of grapes. Now grapes are big and they will be flowing discontinuously. Similarly, water molecules are also hitting the cloth. So you have to understand that there are packets of H2O molecules. One H2O molecule is hitting the cloth in a one atom at a time. Similarly, when you have electromagnetic radiations, and these electromagnetic radiations are hitting any metal surface. This is a metal surface. It is hitting a metal surface. What is happening here? Each electromagnetic wave act as a packet of energy. Each act as a packet of energy. In a similar way, how H2O is hitting one atom at a time, this beam of light, it has packets of energy, and these packets of energy are known as quanta. These are known as quanta, and these quanta or photons, these are hitting the metal surface, and with each striking of electromagnetic radiation on the metal surface, we get electrons. Okay, we get electrons. So this is a comparison between the water flowing and hitting the cloth, and beam of light, it is hitting the metal surface. Now here also it is happening atom by atom. Here it is happening quantum and quantum. One quanta, then other quanta, then other quanta. Now this is the origin of the Planck's quantum theory. And from here, what we will see? Here we will see the relationship between energy and wave. But before that, we should write a few points regarding the Planck's quantum theory. Okay, Planck's quantum theory. So please write Planck's quantum theory. And then write a few points. First point is that whatever the energy is there, it is known as radiant energy. The energy that is inside the radiation, it is known as radiant energy. Radiant energy is not continuous. Rather, it is discontinuous. Okay, rather it is discontinuous. And what do we have? And we have small packets of energy. Rather, it is discontinuous and present in the form of packets of energy. This packets of energy called quanta. Packets of energy, this is called quanta. Okay, and one more point, second point. In case of light, the quanta is aka photon is also known as photon. Third point is that energy of photon is directly proportional to the frequency. That means E is proportional to nu. E is proportional to nu. And after that, we have to equate E is equal to nu. And then you will have a constant, proportionality constant, which is H. So E is equal to H nu. E is equal to H nu. What is H here? Here H is equal to, H is the Planck's constant. Planck's constant, its value is equal to 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34. This is very important that the units are joules second. Okay, this is not joule per second. This is rather joule second. This is joule second. Please write this 6.626 into 10 to the minus 34 joule second. The 3 points. Energy of photon is directly proportional to the frequency. Done, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay, fine. Now we have got the relationship between energy and the frequency also. You can also write this as E is equal to H C upon lambda, right? Because nu is what? Nu is equal to C upon lambda, na? Nu is equal to C upon lambda. That is why you can also write this also, E is equal to H C upon lambda. Then we will do a few questions. Is equal to H C by lambda. Write a question. Calculate energy of a photon. Calculate energy of a photon of light having frequency of 3 into 10 to the power 15 second inverse. How will we solve this? Calculate the energy. Energy is equal to, please look at here, it is a photon. Okay, this will be important in the next question. Calculate the energy of a photon of light having frequency this much. So this will be equal to H into nu. What is H? 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34 joules second into, what is the frequency? 3 into 10 to the power 15 second inverse. So here you can see that second and second inverse will cancel each other out. And from there you can write it like this: 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34 plus 15 and then into 3. Whatever you will be getting, the answer will be in joules. Okay, the answer will be in joules. So again, you can write 6.626 into 3 into 10 to the power how much? 10 to the power how much? 19, na? 10 to the power 19, right?
Yes, sir.
Minus 19, yes, sir. Minus 19, not plus 19. 19 means minus 19. Okay. Now calculate this and tell me what is the answer. It should be around 1.9. It should be around 1.9 something. Please let me know if you're done with the answer.
19.878 into 10 raised to minus 19.
Yeah, 19. Yeah. 19 point. How much?
8.8.
19.8 something. Okay.
78.
878 into 10 to the power minus 19 joules. This will be equal to 1.9 or 99. I can write, right? 9899 into 10 to the power minus 18 joules. Yeah. Khalid, it will be 18, na? Yeah. Okay. Now, all of you, please listen here. When this was one photon, okay? When this was one photon, the energy is 1.99 into 10 to the power minus 18. Okay, it is 1.99 into 10 to the power minus 18 joules. What will happen if there were two photons like this? Then what will be the energy? Khalil, tell me what will be the energy if there were two such photons? One photon will have this much energy, the other photon will have same energy or some different energy if the frequency is same.
The same.
Same, na? Then what we will do? We will add it, right? We will add it. Yes?
Yes.
Now, that means what we can do, or rather we can multiply this by 2. Now, if there are 100 such photons of same frequency, how many? 100 such photons of same frequency, we would have to multiply this energy of one photon into 100. That means I can generalize this and write, for n number of photons. For n number of photons, energy is given by the formula, the energy of photons, or energy, you can directly write only energy, is equal to n into h nu, or we can also write it as energy is equal to n into hc upon lambda. Here, where n is equal to what? Where n is equal to number of photons or quanta. Number of photons or quanta. Please write this down. Please write this down. Done, everyone? Is there someone still writing? Is someone still writing? No? Okay. Write another question. Calculate the energy of 1 mole of photon. Calculate the energy of 1 mole of photons. Which have frequency. So frequency of 5 into 10 to the power 14 hertz. Okay, 5 into 10 to the power 14 hertz solution. Now, which formula will we use? E is equal to h nu or E is equal to nh nu? Which one will we use? We will use this formula nh nu, or will we use h nu? Tell me, everyone. Everyone means everyone, okay? All of you, please unmute yourself. You have two formula for calculating energy. In this question, please read and tell me whether we will be using E is equal to h nu, or we will be using E is equal to nh nu. Which formula? Because frequency is given, tell me. H nu or nh nu? You don't know? Razan is saying NH nu. What about Kia? What do you think, Minashi?
NH mu.
NH nu. Okay. Khalil?
NH nu.
NH nu, right? Why NH nu? Why NH nu?
1 mole of photons.
1 mole of photons, right? 1 mole of photons. That is why it will be NH nu. Now, what we will be doing here? We will be using NH nu. That is why energy is equal to N into H into nu. What is N? N is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 into 10 to the power 23. And whenever you have one, this is 1 mole of photons. This is 1 mole of photons into H, 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34 joules second into, then you have the frequency 5 into 10 to the power 14 second inverse. Okay. Now the first thing is that you will eliminate the units. You will eliminate the units. Then you will separate the numbers and the exponents. 6.022 into 6.626 into 5 into 10 to the power 23 minus 34 plus 14 joules. Okay. Now what you can write 6.022 into 6.626 into 5 into 10 to the power 34 and 14. You will be having minus of 20. Then this will be 3 joules, right? 3 joules, na? Are yes or no? 3 joules. 3 joules?
Yes.
3 joules only, na? So calculate this. Tell me the answer. Six are 36. 36. 36, 36, 36, 36. If it is 30 into 5, then it should be around 150. It should be somewhere around 200. It should be somewhere around 200. I've got one answer. Yes, Mazi, I think. Okay, yeah. Minashi and Mazi both have got correct answer. This is 199.5 into 10 to the power 3 joules. You can also write this as 199.5 kilojoules. Okay, 0.5 kilojoules. Yes, yeah, that is also correct. Very good. So please, everyone, I'm giving you a few seconds. Please copy this down. We will do another question. We will do another question. Please write this down. Okay, now moving on. Calculate, let us say 100 watt, 100 watt bulb emits an electromagnetic wave of wavelength, let us say 400 nanometers. Of wavelength 400 nanometers. Calculate the number of photons. Calculate the number of photons emitted per second. Okay, emitted per second. Solution. Now in this question, please everyone, please listen that they have asked the number of photons. Now that means number of photons, we have to use the formula that is E is equal to NHC upon lambda. NHC upon lambda. Now what they have asked is this N. What they have asked is this N. Kaya, you will tell me. Kaya, you will tell me. Do you know what is the value of H? Do we know the value of H? Yes or no? Tell me.
Yes, sir.
The value of C, do we know that?
Yes, sir.
The value of lambda, is it given?
Yes, sir.
It is given. What about energy? Is energy given?
No, sir.
No, energy is not given, right? Energy is not given. Now for that, what we will see, what is one more information that is given here, Kia? What is one more information that is given?
The power is given.
Power is given, right? What is 1 watt? 100 watt. Okay. So what is power? What is 1 watt?
Energy by time.
And power is energy per unit
Energy
time.
by time.
Energy by time. And what is 1 watt? 1 watt is equal to how much? Anyone? 1 watt is equal to
1 joule per 1 second.
1 joule per second, right? 1 joule
Yes,
per
sir.
second. So it is given that 100 watt is equal to, now instead of watt I will write 100 joules per second. That means energy emitted in 1 second is equal to 100 joules, right? It is equal to 100 joules. Energy emitted is equal to 100 joules. Now when energy emitted is equal to 100 joules, we can have this E is equal to N HC upon lambda, and then we can solve this for N. N is equal to how much? E into lambda divided by H into C. So energy is given as how much? 100 joules into lambda is given as 400 into 10 to the power minus 9 meters divided by the H is 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34 joules second into C is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meters per second. Now first thing is that we will eliminate the units. So when you eliminate the units, you will see joule will go with joule, second and second inverse will also cancel, meters and meter will also cancel, and that is very correct because we need to find the number, and number will not have any unit, right? Number should not have any unit. So please solve this now. Please solve this completely. Please remember that you have to follow the rule that we have eliminated the units. Now you will eliminate the powers, okay? Powers of 10, and after that you will eliminate the numbers. Let me just write this as, now see this 100 into 4, okay? There are how many zeros? There are 1, 2, 3, 4. So I will write 4 in the numerator. In the denominator, I will write 6.626 into 3 into. In here in the numerator, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 to the power 4 into 10 to the power minus 9 divided by 10 to the power, this is minus 34 minus 34 into, you have 10 to the power plus 8. Okay, so please solve this. Please solve this and let me know if you're done. Send the answers in chat. Okay, send the answer in chat, then I will know that you're done. Okay, Mazia, let us see. Okay, if I get one more answer, then I will solve this. If I get one more answer, I will solve this. 17, 17, 30. It will be remaining how much? Okay, Minashi has given me answer. Okay, only Mazia and Minashi are giving me answer. I need another one more answer. Seventeen plus 4 will be 21. क्या थोड़ा सा गलती हो गया आपका लगता है, slight mistake. This will be 0.201. Okay, then I can write this 2.01 into 10 to the power 20 and not 21. Okay, this will be 2.01. So this many numbers of photons are emitted in each second of a 100-watt bulb which has a wavelength of 400 nanometers, Done, everyone? Wait, another question. Calculate the minimum amount of energy that photons should possess to eject an electron from cesium metal which has threshold frequency of 4.6 into 10 to the power 14 second inverse. Okay, 10 to the power 14 second inverse. You have been asked to take H is equal to 6.3 into 10 to the power minus 34 joules second. Okay, solve this. You have to calculate the minimum amount of energy. You have been given the mu naught. So this is a similar type of question. Okay, this is a similar type of question. You have been given the frequency. You have to calculate the energy. So work function will be equal to what? Work function will be equal to, in terms of frequency, it will be equal to, rather I should write energy only. Work function will have kinetic energy term also. So energy will be equal to H into mu naught. Okay, you just have to multiply these two terms. Please write this. Solve this and let me know if you're done. This will be E naught, that is the minimum amount of energy, threshold energy. After that, you will write another question. Calculate kinetic energy of the ejected photon when UV ultraviolet rays of frequency is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power 15 second inverse strikes the surface of potassium metal, The threshold frequency for K is equal to yes, Razan, that is right. So exactly this will be equal to 3.05 into 10 to the power minus 19 joules. Okay. This will be equal to 3.05 into 10 to the minus 19 joules. Now see the next question. Calculate the kinetic energy of ejected photon when frequency of 1.6 into 10 to the power 15 second inverse strikes the surface of potassium metal, and mu naught for potassium, that is K, is equal to 5 into 10 to the power 14 second inverse. Okay, 10 to the power 14 second inverse. Okay. First, please tell me here which of the option is right. Tell me which is greater, mu or mu naught, in the chat, everyone. In the chat, which is greater, mu or mu naught? Read the question and then tell me which is greater. Okay, A or which is right, A or B. That means which is greater, the frequency or the threshold frequency. Yes, Minashi, correct. Okay, I'm waiting for other answers. Abdul Wahid and Shoaib, you guys are not participating little also today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. What about others? Kia, Khalil, Mazia? What do you guys think? Which is greater, mu or mu naught? You just have to compare the quantities, man. Why you guys are taking so much time? Okay, Khalil has answered me. Okay, Hafsa. Who else is remaining? Many are remaining now. Shoaib, Abdul Wahid and Shoaib, please compare these two, mu and mu naught. Mu naught is 5 into 10 to the power 14. You have to compare these two quantities. 15 versus 5 into 10 to the power 14. Guys, please pay attention. Okay, guys, please pay attention. Now, if you have 10 to the power 3 versus 10 to the power 4, what will be greater? Always 10 to the power 4 will be greater. Okay, even if it is 9 into 10 to the power 4 or it is 1 into 10 to the power 3, right? Or even if this is, let us say 9 into 10 to the power 3 and this is 1 into 10 to the power 4. Okay, still now you will not be comparing 9 and 1. You should be comparing 10 to the power 3 and 10 to the power 4. 10 to the power 4. Here also 10 to the power 15 and 10 raised to 14. So obviously, which will be greater? 10 raised to 15 will be greater because you have to first compare the exponent, the powers of 10. 10 to the power 15 is greater. That means which option is right? Mu naught is greater. Okay, mu naught is greater. B is the right answer. B is the right answer. Many have answered A. Please pay attention. You don't have to. Whenever you are comparing now, you will first compare the powers of 10. After that only you will be comparing the numbers. If the powers of 10 are equal, then you will compare the numbers. Now, here they have asked to calculate the kinetic energy. They have asked to calculate the kinetic energy. Now, for that, first we will write work function is equal to the energy of photon, right? Or rather, I should write it like this. The energy of photon is equal to the work function plus the kinetic energy, okay? Now, from here, what I can write, kinetic energy is equal to energy of photon minus the work function. Now, energy of photon is what? Energy is photon, EP. What is work function? Threshold energy, E naught. Now, here we will write, what is this? H mu minus H mu naught. Then you will take H as common, mu minus mu naught, okay? So this is very easy, okay? This is very easy. This is H is, this is 1.6 and 5, no? 1.6 and 5. This is 6, you will write H only. Here you will have 1.6 into 10 to the power 15 minus, you will write 5. Okay, so rather you will write not 5, you will write, this is mathematics. This is complete mathematics, but still I have to tell you how to solve these type of problems. Okay, these easy types of problems. H into 1.6 into 10 to the power 15 minus, you will write this as 0.5. As soon as you have written the 0.5, this will be into 10 to the power 15. Now, as soon as this is for 10 to the power 15, what you can do, you can take this common. So 10 to the power 15 into H multiplied by 1.6 minus 0.5. 1.6 minus 0.5, this will be equal to 10 to the power 15 into, now you will write the value of H, 6.626 into 10 to the power minus 34 into, all these terms will be in joules, okay? All these terms will be in joules, into, you will have 1.1 into 1.1. Now you will have 6.626 into 1.1 into 10 to the power 15 and 34. What will be the answer? 15 minus 34? 34 minus 34 and 15. Minus 34 and 15. 9, na? No, not 9. 4. 15. So it will be remaining 15 plus 4 more. 19. Minus 19 will be the answer. Yeah. Now you just have to calculate this. If you will calculate this, then this will be 6.6, no? 7.3, I feel. It should be around 7.3 into 10 to the power minus 19 joules. Please write this. Calculate this and tell me, okay, if this is 7.3 or not. It should be around 7.3. Because if I have 7, this is 3. 6.3 now. 6.3, or even if it is 6, yeah, 7.3, it should be approximately 7.3. Please calculate this and tell me now. This is approximately 7.3. 7.2. What after 2? What is after 2?
8.
So it will be 7.3 now, if you approximate it. Right? Mazia, you got 7.28 now.
Yes, I didn't calculate for that.
अच्छा, you didn't calculate further. नहीं, आप आगे calculate कीजिए, तभी जाके पता चलेगा ना राउंड ऑफ करके कितना आएगा. So I do it like this usually. See, you have this 6 and here it is 1.1, right? So I approximated this to 6.6 only. So 6.6 into 1.1. Okay, 6.6 into 1.1. Now what you can do here, add 0.6 into 1.1. Now this will be what? 6.6, right? Yes or no? 6.6, and this will be, what will be this amount? 0.6 into plus 0.66, right? This will be 0.66. If you add these two, this will be around how much? 7.26. Okay. You don't have to multiply every time. But this type of math only comes with practice. Write this down. Let me know if you're done. Okay, one more thing. Did all of you get a video from Nishkar sir today?
No, sir.
You haven't got? Okay. No one? Fine. Sir, you will get a video. Okay, you will get a video link. Now, let us move to the next topic. Okay, let us move to the next topic. We will do a few things regarding the next topic and how we are going to move to the next topic. Okay. We have the photoelectric effect, right? We have the photoelectric effect. In that photoelectric effect, the idea is that you have a nucleus. Okay, you have a positive charge nucleus, and still we don't know the Bohr model. We don't know that whether electron is revolving around the nucleus or not. So what would we say that? We would say that this electron is somewhere here. This electron is somewhere here, and now this electron is somewhere here, and when a suitable energy photon comes, what is happening? This electron is getting removed. This electron is getting removed, and this electron needs some suitable energy. That means it needs some suitable energy. What does it mean? It means that this electron, when it is inside an atom, it has some kind of energy. It has some kind of energy as it is attracted by the nucleus. Now this energy is potential energy. This energy is potential energy. How you can relate this? For example, this is the Earth, right? This is the Earth, and you have anything which is, or rather, I should not make it like this. Okay. This is the Earth's surface. Okay, this is the Earth's surface, and you have some object at height h. Now, this object here at height h, what is happening? This object is attracted by the Earth gravitational pull, right? It is attracted by the Earth. Now, when it is attracted by the Earth, this object has some potential energy, right? Some potential energy. Now, what is potential energy? Potential energy is formed whenever there is it is related to the positions of the body. Potential energy you will get if you have some, it is dependent on the position of the body, right? Kinetic energy, it is dependent on the speed. Potential energy is dependent on the position of different bodies. Now, when any body is at height h, it will have some potential energy. Similarly, if electron is pulled by the nucleus, this electron will also have some kind of potential energy. This electron should also have some kind of potential energy. And for the first time, we were able to do what? We were able to associate electrons with energy. Electrons with energy. Now, as soon as we had electrons with energy, then Bohr explained the photoelectric effect, and he came up with the model of electron, in which he said that, see, different atoms have different shells, right? Different atoms have different shells. For that, what you need is the photoelectric. Wait a second. Let me get you the threshold energies work function. Different metals. Let me get this. Okay, so here you have different elements and their work function. But for us, what we will focus on beryllium. We'll focus on the calcium and magnesium. Okay, so we have beryllium, then I will put for magnesium, and then I will put for calcium. Is there? The others are not there. Okay, fine. Beryllium has of 5 electron volt. Magnesium has work function of how much? 3.68, and calcium has 2.9. So it is decreasing as we go down, right? It is decreasing as we go down. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right? It is decreasing. Now we also know that beryllium. What is the atomic number for beryllium?
So,
Yeah. And as you know that if we are increasing the electrons also as we go from beryllium, magnesium to calcium, right? Beryllium is 4, magnesium is 12, calcium is 20. Now Bohr postulated that, he said that it is happening only because the electrons of beryllium is somewhere near to the nucleus. Okay, he said that this is beryllium nucleus and this is the electron. Okay, relatively speaking, the electron which is getting emitted, which is getting ejected. Now the magnesium has the electron is a bit further away from the nucleus. If we compare this to, that is why this is beryllium, this is magnesium. So relatively, what is happening? Relatively, it is easier to remove electron from magnesium rather than from beryllium, from beryllium. Now you have a very even bigger. This is electron here. This is for calcium. Now calcium, it is even easier to remove electron from calcium because electron is a bit more away when we compare this to magnesium and beryllium. Okay, from here Bohr got the idea about the energy of different electrons, and when this electron is revolving in this particular energy shell, this particular orbit, it is neither radiating nor absorbing any kind of energy. But as soon as it will absorb energy, what will happen? It will get away from this orbit. That is why in the quantum number I said that in principal quantum number, it is non-radiating path. That means electron is not radiating any energy, neither it is losing any energy while it is orbiting, neither it is gaining any energy while it is orbiting. But as soon as this electron will gain energy, it will leave the orbit. And it will get ejected. Okay, so this is how Bohr composed the model of Bohr atomic model. We will learn about Bohr atomic model in the next class, and your next class will be most probably on Sunday. Okay, so not Sunday, Saturday. You will have 1 hour lecture on Saturday. Okay, Nishkar sir will tell you about the timing. Okay, guys.
yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Chalo. Thank you very much. We will meet on Saturday, I guess. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Wait
you,
a second.
sir.
Wait a second. No, wait a second. I have to give you some homework. Okay, I have to give you some homework. You have NCERT?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, let me get my NCERT. Wait a second. You have some questions remaining from the quantum numbers also, right? Some quantum numbers also, but this is new part. So let me. So this is NCERT exercises. Okay. NCERT exercises. We start from 2.6, 2.7, 2.8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, 2.6 to 2.12. 13, 14, 15. Okay, that's it. That's it. Okay, 2.6 to 2.12. Till the next class, you have to do these questions. Okay, from 2.6 to 2.12. Fine. Have you guys written this 2.6 to 2.12? Yes or no?